So a warm welcome this morning. It's lovely to have the lovely Jane Manton on
Hi
with
there, how are
me.
you doing?
Hi, Jane. Jane is from a business called Seraph Soul Photography and Tree Energy Crafts. I know Jane. I've known Jane for a few years now because Jane's been doing all my physical events, haven't you, since I pretty much started?
I have, yeah, right from the beginning. I think the events have
Yeah.
been lovely, and we've been all over to different venues, so it's been fab.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just a shame that I can't do them at the moment.
I know. I think a
Um,
lot of people are missing them, me included.
I know, but we just have to, unfortunately, and 2021 will be bigger and better.
Of course it
That's
will. Of
that, of course, of course.
course it will.
So before we go any further, I just would like you to, for people who don't know you, Jane, can you just introduce yourself and say a little bit of where you're from and what type of business you are, please?
Yeah. For those who haven't met me, as Deb has said, my name's Jane. I work with sort of channeling angel messages through my photography. I have my virtual shop behind me here, so you can see some of the images, but it's quite a sort of vast array. When for those who know me from the events will know that it's quite a big and impactful
It
stall.
is.
I work in a sort of holistic well-being kind of way through arts and crafts, so predominantly through my photography, but also through woodcraft as well, and make sort of little items, runes, wands, etc., amulets that bring positivity, empowerment, healing.
So, because I'm always amazed when I come to your stall. It's just wow. It takes about 2 or 3 hours to set it up as well, doesn't it?
Takes
Bless
a
you.
little while, yeah.
But the images are just so striking, and the
Thank you.
actual things that come from them and what you say is just so powerful. Just as well, what are your interests? I know you obviously do photography, but what are your interests and passions in life?
I suppose sort of well-being, being the best version of me and helping people to be the best version of you as well. Through the photography, I spend a lot of time in nature. I'm always looking for another image when I'm out there, when I'm out walking, and that's where I sort of recharge my batteries as well. So being near trees, near water, I'm out walking nearly every day, at least 2 or 3 miles if I can,
Brilliant.
and just exploring different places. I love the events, I love the festivals that I go to, and interacting with other people as well.
Yeah,
And
fantastic.
I suppose I do quite a lot of mindfulness, and I'm always learning. Every day's a school day, isn't it?
It
So
is.
I've just signed up for a CBT course, an online
Oh,
course. We've got to look into different things, the cognitive behaviour therapy. I've read quite a lot of books on mindfulness and different well-being aspects, and learning about all the different types of spirituality that are out there as well, with all the sort of crystals, aromatherapy,
sure.
just exploring different avenues really.
I'm really intrigued as well to find out, how did this come about?
Okay, so there's a little story attached to this.
Right,
I did
lovely.
warn
I'd
you.
like to hear it because I
Okay,
don't know this.
no, you don't. Well, just to give a little bit of background about me, sort of going through the years, I've just had a big birthday this year. I've just turned the big 50, which has been interesting.
Well, you look amazing.
In lockdown, so that's not quite what was thought, but we are where we are. And I've done quite a few different things in my lifetime. I was originally an electrical engineer, which a lot of people don't know about me,
Wow.
and worked for British Aerospace. Then I was a retail manager for a number of years, and then I worked in public services. Now, the job I have, and I still work in part-time in public services, but I work in training now, had a number of challenges with it. And for someone who works empathically like I do, and who is an empath, some of the situations I was coming across were quite challenging. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that over the years took its toll on me. And about 8 years ago, I was diagnosed with an illness called
Right.
ulcerative colitis. And it made me quite poorly. I was in hospital for a good couple of weeks, and while they found out what it was. And it really makes, when something like that happens, it really makes you kind of stop and think, I need to do something different. This isn't good for me. Clearly this is having a physical effect on my well-being. So I need a plan B if I want to be around for a number of years, which I'm hoping to be. So as I say, the walking and the photography was a hobby of mine, and I started going to Mind Body Spirit events all over the Northwest, various events here, there and everywhere. And I remember going to them and thinking, wow, I love these. This is amazing. The energies are lovely.
Yeah.
The people here are lovely. Everyone's so kind. And I felt at home. And it was so welcoming, such a lovely environment. And I kind of thought, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. Now, me being me, I don't do things the same as everyone else. So I was kind of asking the universe and having a chat with them. And I was finding that angels were the things that I attuned to the most. And I was finding when I was out walking, I was kind of getting little messages through and little bits of guidance when I was sort of in a kind of a walking meditation. And I knew I had to redecorate my bedroom because that was all a bit cluttered and I wanted a plan B there. And I was looking for a particular photograph to go on the wall, and I knew I wanted a red one. And now I looked high, low, here and everywhere, and I wanted a sort of tree image to go on the wall. Couldn't find anything I wanted. So I had a look at some of my photographs and came across one of them, which was this particular image here.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that was taken locally at a place called Jumbles Country Park.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, I really love that image, but I want a red one because I want to pull the red colours out. So I put a filter on it. And I kind of thought, oh, wow, yeah, that sort of works. That's really nice.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, because I was learning a lot more about angels and I was engaged in a sort of angel workshop with a lovely lady called Gina, I was just kind of getting more in tune with them. And I thought, let's have a look at the angel and the colour that the red angel relates to. And it was Archangel Uriel. Now, Uriel's all about you getting your passion back for life, being creative, setting foundations and starting something new. And you know when you have a light bulb moment, and that was my light bulb moment. So I thought, okay, that's the red filter. What's it look like with an orange one? And the image, it's the same image, but it looks very different.
Yeah.
And then you've got, you know, the sort of different ones, the yellow, and all these different colours also attune to different angels. I mean, that's not all of them.
Are they all the chakra colours?
They are, that's right. So they all, as I've learned more about it in spirituality, in that sort of environment, there's a lot of crossovers. So when you look at the chakra colours, you've got your red, orange, yellow, green, blue. But when you look at the energies of those chakras, you look at the energies of the angels that relate to those, there's a correlation. And then you can also look at crystals. Say, for example, if you look at the green, that's Archangel Raphael. Raphael's your angel of healing. But if you look at, say, green aventurine, and you look at some of the properties of that particular crystal, that's also about healing. So there's lots of crossovers all the way through it. And as I've sort of, you know, journeyed on this path and found out more about little different avenues, it's so interesting to find out more about it and explore all those different avenues. And I suppose that's when I kind of thought, right, okay, well, that photo works. Try it with a few others. And as you can see behind me, this is my sort of shop, which is,
I know you've got an amazing collection there, haven't you, Jane, of all such beautiful nature.
Thank you. And it worked with lots of other different images as well. And it was kind of, well, this is it. This is where I'm going. And I think it was literally a few months later, I managed to do my first event over in Chester with a lovely friend of mine, Katrina. And that was the beginning. And that was just over 5 years ago. And I think the whole journey itself and learning more about it myself and meeting the lovely people I've met. And also, you know, sort of looking at my well-being and really looking inwardly and how I work, what I do, how I'm kind to myself, has really helped me with my illness as well. So, you know, I'm in a far miles better place now with the way I do. Now that then evolved. So not only were the images which brought through the angel energies, because that's how I first started. So for example, if someone chose a purple image, I'd chat to them about Archangel Raziel and how that's very much about your spiritual path and it's attached to your crown chakra, and I would speak to them about that. But then I started getting more messages through. I started working in a sort of empathic, clairsentient way. And I was kind of getting more stuff. And I was thinking, I've got to tell this person this. I need to tell them that. I can pick up this from them. And it really was a bit of a like, oh, okay, what do I do with this? Now, again, thankfully at the time, I had a very good friend who sort of works also in that arena, and he really encouraged me to sort of develop that a little bit more. And that's when the reading started. And that wasn't just me bringing the angel energies through on the image, it was also me bringing those channeled messages for individuals when they came to the stall and when I was speaking to them. And then that's also how the oracle cards, because I now have an oracle set as well.
I know, they're amazing
and
too.
That's how they sort of came to be, because people were saying, well, do you do readings, do you have oracle cards? I was like, no, but I will have. And they all have the messages on the back of them. And
people can buy those as a pack, can they?
They can, yeah. They can buy
Yes.
them as a pack. Comes with a lovely ribbon and a little bag. The bag colours and the ribbons do vary. There's 72 different cards in the pack. And they can all buy the images, and if they're booking with a mini reading with me that I'm doing online, then I can bring through those messages for them. And there's an offer on at the moment where they can get the mini reading and the image, including postage as well. So and I'm doing full readings as well now. I started doing full readings up at a beautiful shop called the Crystal Bear up in Garstang.
That's not far from me.
Yeah, and I started doing readings there on certain days in the weekend.
Are you still going there? You still look?
I have been. I was booked in just before we went into this situation that we're in now.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll be returning there at some point in the future. But they've only just reopened, and obviously we've got to observe the sort of social distancing at the moment.
I know.
Well, I don't think we've started doing those quite yet.
So, just from a point of view, because, with what you do, what's the benefits of somebody actually what's the benefits of somebody coming to you and working with those images? What would they get from that?
Well, as I said, the readings work quite empathically, so I can quite often tap into emotions and things and any blockages that they've maybe got within the chakras via the angels, and I can sort of tell them things that they kind of know, but it's really weird when they hear it from a stranger, because they're kind of like, you've just stepped into my head, how do you know this about me? And some people are quite taken aback, some people have quite an emotional reaction, because I'm helping them release stuff. And then what I try and do with those people is, the intention with the images is, within the reading there'll be something which is positive, empowering, nurturing, healing, or will help them change their perception around a certain situation, help them let go of it, help them heal from it in some particular way. Because I do quite a lot of mindfulness, as I said, and I sort of use perhaps some of those things to help other people as well. And there'll be something that makes sense to them. Now, if we were perhaps talking about one of the yellow images, Archangel Jophiel is very much about your confidence. So a lot of people, they'll be like, well, I want to try this, but I'm not sure. And I'll pick up on that. And I'll say, you need to believe in yourself more. You can do this. And the reading will incorporate perhaps a message around that. So the plan then is they attach, I can do this, as a mantra, or as, a sort of little trigger to this image. They put the image somewhere where they see it often at home, and every time they see it, they will say, I can do this. So when they're having a bit of a wobble day, or when they're having a moment, they can look at that image, do a little mini meditation with it, tell themselves, I can do this, I believe in me. And that helps them change the perception. And of course, when you're putting that positivity out to the universe kind of goes, oh, wow, thanks, this is great. You're giving this to lots of other people, and this positivity. Do you know what? I'm going to bring it back for you as well. Absolutely. So it helps them, because we are like mirrors. We get what we put out.
Yeah, and not a lot of people see that, do they? Until they start, and I guess, like yourself, Jane, that's the great thing about doing the events as well, isn't it? Because people are, are starting to open up and get more intrigued into this more and more, aren't they?
I think people, particularly over the last few months, people have switched on to this and realised that, that there certainly is something more to it.
Absolutely.
And it's really helpful. It can make a difference. I remember a little phrase I came across. A lot of people will, will perhaps be looking for happiness here, there, and everywhere, and they're looking here, they're looking there, but it's all within. It's all here. And the way I work is try and encourage people to find their inner peace. And when you get to that place, that's when you're in a greater, more happy place. And the phrase was, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path.
Yeah.
And it was just like, that makes sense. So you are how you live. You are what you think every moment.
Moment of every day.
And it's trying to open that up and encourage people to be more like that, and recognise that they are the boss of their emotions. They can, they can control them, and they can get themselves into a more happier, positive place, which in turn brings greater well-being. And also has that sort of knock-on effect of not then having any physical ailments with them as well.
Absolutely. We also mentioned about you do tree energy crafts as well. Have you got any images have you got any of those with you can show people?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I sort of have found out on this journey is that I've got quite a few sort of connections with the Vikings. It just sort of really resonated with me. And
so this led on from the photographs, did it?
Yeah, I think it just became a different dimension to it.
Yeah.
Because I'm out in nature a lot and I'm walking a lot, I come across a lot of wood that's windfall, and I only use windfall and I'm naturally coppice wood. I never take anything off the tree. And, you know, sort of picking up these branches and thinking I can do something with them. So I started sort of making wands. So these different ones that I have. This is is an apple wand, and these are some apple runes that I've made as well.
Amazing.
So these are Viking runes, and you can use these for divination as well. By sort of doing readings with them. There's little guidance cards inside that tell you about the different symbols and the different spreads that you can use, and you know how you can kind of work with those. But the reason it's called tree energy crafts is it's tapping into the energies of the different trees, because each different tree will have different energies. Now some of them are obvious, like if you think about oak, it's solid, it's grounding, it's about that sort of strength. If you think about apple and you think about, sort of Adam and Eve story, apple's very much about love. So there's different energies to different woods and different trees. So a lot of people will come and, have a look at the wands, and there's an instant connection with that particular wood. And it's like, well, why? And then they read the meaning and they go, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I'm always intrigued by your store, honestly. Every time
something new every time we chat.
I know, definitely. But Jane, obviously we're coming to a close now, but how would people, obviously if they wanted an online reading with you, or they want to buy a lovely photograph for a member of their family, or a gift, or one of the lovely tree energy items, can you just say a little bit about how they would get in touch with you, your website and
there is a website which is Seraph Souls Photography, so that's www.seraphsoulsphotography.co.uk. that has all the images on, and there is a little bit of information on there which tells you about the different meanings of each of the images. But if they wanted more of a reading, then they can either message me via the Facebook page, which is Seraph Souls Photography, or they can email me on my email, which, can we add a link onto this video?
I will be doing that, yes, definitely.
I think that the main one really is probably messaging me through the Seraph Souls Facebook page. There is a Tree Energy Crafts Facebook page as well, so they can have a look on there, and can have a look at some of the woodcraft products that are there and message me via that one as well. So there's two separate Facebook pages for each of those things. And one thing, I mean, a lot of people, it was funny, I was speaking to a lovely lady yesterday who I've known for a few years, and she was saying to me, I've wanted some of your oracle cards for ages, and she's finally got some of the set now and everything, and she's dead excited to use them. She said, but what's put me off is I wasn't sure how you worked with them, what you did with them. And another lady was like, well, how do you work with runes, or how do you work with wands? I'm quite happy to do a sort of, a 5-minute video call with people. Fantastic. If they just want to message me the number for free, no obligation at all to purchase, but I'm quite happy just to have a chat with them and explain a little bit more about them, how they work, and or even how the images work, and then they can either book in for a reading with me, or they can have a proper look at the stuff that I've got, and I can tell them a little bit more about the individual things, because I don't think just putting a photograph and a bit of a writing, it doesn't always get across the energy and positivity and what it can offer people.
And interestingly, as we've learned in this situation, doing Zoom. I mean, I did a psychic event the other week, and the messages that were actually being said to people was just fantastic. Even I've been doing some psychic development, and people think, how does it work? But it does. Even though you're not sat next to somebody, it can still work.
Yeah, I've done some really beautiful, the way I do the readings is generally by WhatsApp video call, and I've had some really beautiful reviews back from people that I've connected with over the last few months, when I've done either a mini reading with the image, or like I say, a sort of full reading. And I've had some really lovely feedback from people and it works. And, and I've still had that impact and been able to do the reading with them, because at first, I mean, I think like everybody with all this technology, I was a bit kind of like,
I know.
How is that going to work? But it does, and it's
amazing
to know that we can, explore these different avenues and work in different ways. But I think it's all just about putting that positive intention out there as well.
Absolutely. Jane, just before we close, is there anything else you want that we haven't covered that you might want to say? Is there anything else that you... Is there anything else that you want to add?
It's just been an absolute pleasure, Deb, and thanks for giving me this opportunity.
Well, thank you. And Jane, hopefully I will see you next year. Hopefully,
yeah, I'm
fingers
sure we will
crossed.
do. I'm sure we'll be back.
I'm looking at March again at Garstang next year, so it'll be a
Which will
full
be lovely.
year. I love Garstang.
I know I do. Fabulous place. Great event.
It is. It's just a lovely. But I love you guys coming all together. And I think love more than that.
That's what a lot of us are missing. You know, that interaction, not just with the fellow traders who, but the interaction with the members of the public as well. Just chatting to them sometimes. You know, I've met some really good friends at these events, and it's just an absolute pleasure to be part of this. You know, this sort of group of people, and hopefully help people in a positive way.
Absolutely. Well, you certainly do that, Jane. Well, thank you very much this morning, and I look forward to seeing you very soon.
Thanks, Deb. Take care.
Take care as well. Thank you.
Bye.